It popped up on my TikTok, and trust me, I was not looking for it. It was the video of Kaylee Anthony. She's campaigning to be an advocate to someone about something, but I wasn't interested. I remember a lot about Kaylee and her family and about the case. I was one of those millions of people, and I mean that millions, that watched this story unfold from the beginning. The dragging ass in the middle, and we couldn't believe how it sadly ended. And since then, Florida jurors still don't get it right. I believe someone told Kaylee to go to TikTok and use that platform. They're younger over there. They don't know who you are. They don't remember you, or they probably don't even care. Something like that. I'm sure. But I remember, and I do care. So I'm going to share with you guys the few things that I do know and remember about this case. Kaylee Marie Anthony was 2 years old when she passed away. She was born August 9, 2005. Her death date is listed as sometime in June, only because her mother, Kaylee, she knows when she passed away, because I believe she died because of the neglectful actions of her mother. 22-year-old Kaylee, she was ready to just get drunk, smoke, pop some pills, grind on someone. She was 22 years old. And back then, that's what they did. Hell, that's what they do now. I'm not judging at all. But sometimes a toddler can kind of kill the vibe. I always believe that Kaylee died in that trunk of her car. I do. I believe that Kaylee had did these things to her daughter more than once just to make her sleep. And this time she had given her too much, and that is how Kaylee passed away. I never thought that Kaylee intentionally killed her child. I just never thought that. And for those of you that don't know about this case, please do your research on it. And for those of you that may have forgotten, I will share the things that really stuck with me throughout these years. First of all, I love Nancy Grace. I would watch HLN every evening, and she covered the story completely. Nancy referred to Kaylee as top mom, and I remember because I watched it. It was like almost a year and a half of just footage of what was going on. Kaylee was and still is a pathological liar. She thought that she could fool everyone, but she didn't. She didn't at all. Everyone she's around, they know what she did and who she is, but they're just taking everything with a grain of salt, I'm sure. The truth came out in the beginning, but Kaylee was too busy adding layers and layers on lies. You really have to read between the lines. Kaylee lived at home with George and Cindy, her parents, and I can't remember if Lee, that's Kaylee's brother, was residing at the home that time, but Cindy was basically the one that was taking care of Kaylee. And if Cindy and Kaylee weren't bumping heads then, more than likely when the baby was born, they were bumping heads even more. Cindy had been trying to get in touch with Kaylee for a month, 31 days to be exact. Now, the cell phones back in 2008, they weren't quite like they are now. They were there, but now it's not attached to everyone's hand like it is right now. So I guess, and I'm not even sure, I can't even remember if Kaylee was saying she was trying to get in touch with her mother, or if Cindy was trying to say she was calling Kaylee's cell phone. I'm not even quite sure. But I just know that Cindy was trying to get in touch with Kaylee. So finally, Kaylee arrives to the house, and she comes up with another lie. She never stopped. This lie is 17 years old now, and it has a birthday coming up. So Kaylee pulls up in her car. Kaylee isn't inside. Cindy hears the lies that her daughter is telling her, and Cindy calls the police. Now, Cindy, out of her own mouth, she says, quote, "It smelled like a body had been in the damn car." End quote. That is what she says. It smelled like a body had been in the damn car. Something to that effect.
There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car. There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
Is what was in the damn car. Even Casey would lie and say it was an old pizza. And I mean, pepperoni pizza does not smell like a decomposing body. I believe it smells very differently. Now, George is a cop and Cindy is a nurse. So if anyone should know what a dead body smells like, it should be them too. Now, she told her mother and the police that a Spanish woman was a nanny. Her name was Zenaida, short for Zanny. Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. Keep in mind, that was one of Casey's drug of choice. It was Xanax. And Xanax, it will make you feel drowsy. It's great to give to a child, I guess, if you want to put them to sleep, so you can party. So perhaps that was one of the drugs. I also remember that Kaylee Anthony, she had on her MySpace page, yes, I brought it back. She had on our MySpace page, it was a meme of a depiction of chloroform. I believe it was this one. Now, her friends, they know exactly what I'm talking about. She had something about chloroform. She did. So it was two drugs, maybe both, maybe one that I believe was used to knock Kaylee out so she could party. I mean, think about it. Sometimes, and people do it right now, they give their children a little extra Benadryl, a little extra nighttime cough syrup. They do, just to put them to sleep so they could sleep a little bit longer at night and not get up. They do, and they don't think anything of it. So Zanny, the nanny, was watching Kaylee while Casey worked. But wait, there's more. Casey didn't even have a job. She would steal out her mother's purse for money if she needed anything. Cindy even wanted to press charges against Casey for theft of her money and I believe the vehicle as well. Now, Casey actually had the police go to Universal Studios pretending she worked there. I remember her walking all through the building and all upstairs to a floor, to an office, and she finally turns around and says, I don't work here. I mean, the way she was just playing in people's face, it was crazy. I kept thinking, when are they going to arrest this bitch? That's all I kept saying because it just didn't make sense how they just was letting her run amok with all this. She didn't work there anymore. She had, I believe, worked there prior, like 3 years ago, but then she went on maternity leave. She did not even work there anymore. So there was no nanny needed. Now, the real Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, I don't believe she ever even knew Casey. And again, damn sure wasn't a sitter. And she actually went on to sue Casey. But I'm not going to even get into that because that's not what I really want to talk about today. So that was just pretty much another one of Casey's lies. So on December 11th, 2008, Kaylee's remains were found by a meter reader by the name of Roy Kronk, just 19 feet from the road in a wooded area, not too far from the Anthony residence. Kaylee had duct tape over her nose and mouth, and she was stuffed in a laundry bag. She was too badly decomposed to determine how she died. George and Cindy believe that it was an accidental drowning. Now, they are Casey's parents, and this is their granddaughter that passed away. So, I mean, they have to believe that. Believe whatever's going to help you feel better and help you sleep better at night. I'm not sure if they even thought in their heads silently that their daughter is actually responsible for the whole entire thing, responsible for the death of Kaylee. I mean, if it was a simple drowning, why not call the ambulance? If she doesn't know how to practice CPR, why not call the ambulance? Why not have them get there and try to do whatever they can, do their life-saving measures, so maybe this baby could have had a chance? And at least you tried, and it wouldn't have gotten to this point, because that's not what happened. That's why. It's not what happened at all. Casey actually told the courts that her father took Kaylee's body after and discarded the baby's body. Yeah. So George was the one that put the tape over the little girl's mouth and threw her in a laundry bag and threw her in the woods. Really. That's what Casey was telling the courts that had happened. I swear, she threw that family right underneath the bus. She did. She did. She also told the courts that her father was having an affair with a woman by the name of Crystal Holloway, and she even took the stand. She did. And by the way, Crystal was closer to George than we all would have liked to know. I'll just leave that right there because this is really about Casey. But I'm just letting you know how she just was really trying to throw everybody under the bus. I need to add 2 weeks after Casey's daughter was dead, she went and got a tattoo, Bella Vita, which meant the beautiful life. So yeah, after everyone knows that her daughter's dead, the first thing she goes and does is she goes and gets a tat. Very interesting, right? From a grieving mother. I'm sorry, even Jose Baez, Casey's lawyer, didn't believe this shit. But, he gets paid not to. Now, Casey was doing everything to take the blame off of her, like telling all these horrible things, what's going on with the family secrets, everything, like it's going to make her look better. But it didn't. It didn't. There was even Google searches when the computers and everything in the home was all seized. It was Google searches where somebody was Googling chemicals. It was at the time when Nurse Cindy was not even in the home. It was Casey there Googling stuff. Googling maybe how to make chloroform, Googling stuff like that. They wouldn't tell us the specifics that she was Googling because I guess they thought people were going to go and Google it too and try to create something. But Casey was in there Googling stuff, and Cindy got right there on the stand, and she said it was her that Googled it. So she stuck up for Casey, saying that it was her. She sure did. She sure did. Casey went even further, and she said that she was being R-worded by her own father on the daily. On the daily, she was being R-worded by him. She even said her brother started to do it too. So she had her father coming in and her brother coming in to R-word her all through the night. This is the stuff that she said. And if my memory serves me correct, I believe that a DNA test may have been done on the father and the brother to see if they were the father of Kaylee. I think so. Now, so much was going on there. So much. They were in tabloids. They were everywhere. So I don't know if I believe something like that happened. Now, I do believe that Kaylee's father had passed away in a car accident is from what I am remembering. But the trial was a mess. It was a simple mess. It really was. And she just didn't want to do time. But who does? Who does? I mean, and she also lives in Florida, which is a death penalty state. So no one wants to do time at all. And I remember they used to always talk about Jose Baez, the lawyer. I think, now this is something that I think I heard like in a tabloid. I think they said he was like he sold swimsuits or bras or something like that for women. Women's underwear. They were making Jose Baez out to be a sleaze. I do remember that much. And I think that this was the first case that he won. Don't quote me on that. But I think it may have been. So Kaylee Anthony would end up beating the case, which really shocked the hell out of everybody. It did. It did. In my opinion, it wasn't because Jose Baez was such a great lawyer, because he wasn't. It was that her family copped out. They all did. Casey had him looking crazy up there on the stand, and in his seat, she had him looking straight crazy. She never once took the stand, but she had them all looking crazy. I mean, Cindy, lying and saying, "Oh well, I didn't believe it was a dead body in the car." Cindy knew damn well she believed that. She did. She just didn't know how true what she was saying was right. Yeah, Casey made that family look entirely bad. She did, and she got off, and she was able to just walk away from it. They was also bringing up, stuff when George and Cindy would visit her in jail. I think George said, "You look nice," or "You look pretty," something like that. And the media ran with it because remember, this is also around the time when she was allegedly being assaulted by her dad. So the media, I remember the media was picking this family apart. I do remember that they was. And then when George ended up trying to, end it all, he tried to take his life. Yes, he did. And, the court said it was out of guilt because of everything that Casey endured is why George did this. And that, another thing that wasn't good for the media. Yeah, it was some stuff. I'm remembering it was some stuff. If someone was to cover this story, that you have to go take it way, way back, like way, way back. And that's going to be too much, but I'm sure somebody will if they haven't already, but I am remembering stuff now as I talk more about it. And it's horrible. It's horrible because the sad part is a little girl died by the hands of her reckless, neglectful mother and the grandparents. They didn't even fight hard enough for her. I guess they figured that Kaylee's dead. And I guess they didn't want to lose their daughter, even though their daughter was a big part of this, which is terrible. So no one really fought for Kaylee. Cindy is estranged allegedly from her daughter. She said that she hasn't seen her since 2016. And in 2021, Casey texted that she wanted to come and pick up Kaylee's remains 13 years later. So I believe that they did an agreement where there were necklaces that they both had with a vial, and each had a little bit of Kaylee's ashes in it. And the mother, Cindy, always wore hers. A friend of Casey said she's seen her with the necklace on maybe twice, and she hadn't seen that necklace since. So that's how much that necklace really meant to her. But yeah, I really followed this case for a very long time, and it's probably some stuff that I left out, but again, that was like the gist of the story. The media pulled apart this family, and Casey didn't help out any. She kept adding stuff, fuel to the fire. Yes, she did. And now she's free, and she's on TikTok, and she wants to do some shit. I don't even know what she wants to do, but she wants to do something. In a random interview that she said a few years ago, she said, quote, "I don't give a shit about what anyone thinks about me. I never will. Based off of what was in the media, I understand the reasons people feel about me. I understand why people have opinions that they do. I'm okay with myself. I sleep pretty well at night." That is what she said. And I don't believe you, Casey. I don't believe you sleep that well at night. I believe you think about your daughter all the time. I believe every time you see a little girl, with little dark hair and big eyes, you think about your daughter. And you think about her being in that car. You try to be so detached, but you still have vivid thoughts about what happened. You have to. And I know you do. You don't care, but you still think about it. And about sleeping well, that has nothing to do with the fact that, you could be evil and sleep well. It's just that you just are a horrible person. And I'm sure that you know that. And like you said, you don't give a damn. You don't give a damn. And now you're trying to have a little business. I don't really know what you're, an advocate, and starting with your own daughter. Your daughter is not here because of you. So I don't know what you're advocating for. Well, that's it, you guys. This is the story. I hope you got it. It was a lot. I tried to give it to you in a nutshell, but that is the story right there. And I hope to never really talk about Kaylee Anthony again. I just want to get this off my chest.
Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kaylee Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to. So with that, please join me on Substack. If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened. And it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur. And when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So as a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and now look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008. With that, these aren't going to be perfect. They're not going to be edited. Most of the time, they're not going to be short. But I am proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact. So you will get very comfortable with my car, and I will explain in great detail why it's so important for people to protect their privacy. It's not just important to public figures, it's even more important to private individuals. And with the current climate in our country especially, it's that much more important, which is why I am utilizing the Substack platform. Yes, I am advertising this and publishing this on TikTok, possibly also through other meta platforms, but my intention is to separate from that and showcase even more why Substack is such an important resource for people to utilize moving forward. Anyway, I appreciate your time, and we'll see how this goes.